You are not here to fix yourself. You are here to remember who you really are, to rise again and again on this crazy roller coaster called life. And ultimately, in many, many ways, that is really what Christ consciousness and God frequency are all about: love, forgiveness, finding that beautiful frequency and really aligning with the essence of your soul's truth. Hello, beautiful souls. Happy Easter and welcome to Infinite You. I am Dr. Sheri, and today I want to share something deeply personal with you, but I think that it really is universal. It is a message that has been moving through my heart and soul. I jotted it down last night, and I want to talk about love, forgiveness, and about trusting life and yourself and the unfolding of life, that beautiful, amazing, expansive feeling of trust with a capital T. This message today is not about religion. It's a reflection about something deeper, a sacred reminder that your journey is sovereign, that your path is yours alone to walk, and that your soul connection to yourself, to source, is always about guiding you to your highest place, your highest frequency, guiding you home to yourself always if you just stay open. I definitely can say I have been a lot to know this, and I know that if you're here, I trust that you have walked through your own valleys too. Sorry, I'm getting a little hoarse. Life humbles us. Life stretches us. Life asks us to look in the mirror again and again. And there were times, for sure, with me, even though I have felt connected to Christ consciousness pretty much this entire life, for sure in other timelines as well. My very first Broadway play was Jesus Christ Superstar when I was 5 years old, and I was hooked. And I just fell in love with the essence of the energy of who he was. But I do have to say, even knowing what I know to be true, even feeling like I've always felt connected, I definitely have made some really wacky choices, some self-destructive choices, and some choices in my life that were not aligned with who I was, that really didn't resonate. I was coming from a place of fear, of hurt, of uncertainty, of chaos, of old programming. And so because of that, I just really didn't resonate with the reflection looking back at me. And when I say resonate, it definitely had nothing to do with vanity or even self-esteem. It was really on a deeper level of alignment, of soul truth, of vibration. And when we look in the mirror and we are not sure who we are or what we believe or what we resonate with, we make choices from that space. And I definitely got in that space, and I want to share some of that with you today. But I want to ask you, have you ever had a moment when you knew something was off, not on the surface, but deep within? I definitely have been there. There are moments in life when we just, like I said, we look in the mirror, we don't like what we see, but it really isn't about like. It's really about resonance. It's about whether the reflection staring back at you is aligned with who you truly are. And when we don't feel good about ourselves, we often try to hide it and fix it from the outside, from 3D and 4D energy, right? So like we take physical action to fix things, or we make choices to buffer the pain or the hurt or the fear or the lack of trust. And then on top of that, in fourth dimensional reality, we try to fix it and go into self-help mode, trying to change our thoughts, our habits, and our behaviors. It's all good stuff. And it definitely has value, but it is not restorative. We can get there energetically. I talked about entropy the other day, and entropy is this idea of like things going from an organized to a disorganized state. And so the clearer we get on our thoughts and the more habits we create to keep life organized, it's a really good thing. And that's like definitely 3D, 4D energy. It certainly has value, but I'm not going there right now with this video today. At the end of the day, what really gives us that feeling of alignment, of resonance, of tuning in, of that higher sense that we can trust life. It's really about leaning in to source, to love, to forgiveness, to your personal truth, because you know that when you have been hurt, when you have been let down, and you may even have experienced trauma, for sure, disappointment, deep connection, feeling separate in this 3D reality, you know that when we get in that space of fear, of not trusting, we tend to spiral. We reach for things that will numb us. We make choices that pull us farther from ourselves, farther from source energy, not because we're bad, but because we are in pain. And pain unprocessed can look like self-destruction. And then that can lead us down a spiral of like never feeling good, of not forgiving ourselves. It can feel like confusion. It can become a feeling of distancing ourselves from the truth of who we are, the opposite of resonating with our soul's truth. But here is the grace. Here is the love. No matter where you are, you can always come back. You can always, always return home to yourself. And that is what Christ consciousness is for me. It is not about being perfect. It is not about never messing up. It is not about following rules or checking spiritual boxes. It is about returning to love. It is about forgiveness. It is about choosing to see yourself with non-judgment, with grace, especially when you forgot how. And maybe that is what Easter invites us to do. Not necessarily the doctrine, and I know there are beautiful, amazing religious people that are celebrating Easter in a really lovely, beautiful, amazing, high vibe, devoted way. And so shout out to all those lovely, amazing people. But I want to remind you, wherever you are, that you are always loved. You can always return home to yourself. I used to think that healing meant fixing myself. That is very 4D energy, all the self-help stuff. That was the way to go. Better habits, better routines, more goals, working harder. And yes, those things matter on a certain level. They definitely, like I said, support us in like 3D and 4D reality. They help create clarity. They help clear the clutter for sure in our physical reality and in our minds. But the deeper work, the real transformation, comes from something else entirely. It comes from remembering who you are. It comes from realignment. It comes from tuning in to yourself, to your soul, to the whisper of God that lives within you. This is not, again, about fixing. This is really about coming home. And if you do celebrate Easter or simply feel its energy in the air, maybe let it be a time of inner renewal, of forgiveness, a return to what matters, a sacred pause to ask yourself, what part of me is ready to rise? What truth have I been denying? Where can I allow more love to lead me forward? How can I align with the truth and the essence of who I am and the nature of this one mind, God's mind, this reality, this frequency of love? I mentioned this the other day in a video talking about entropy, where things have a tendency to go from an organized state to a disorganized state. And we know it in the physical world. If we don't do the dishes or do the laundry, it becomes very apparent that things will always go to a state of entropy. And it definitely happens in our minds as well. And once we become the boss of our minds and really, really make very clear decisions in a heartbeat to shift away from a thought that is not true to us, aligned with us, resonating with us, when we clear the clutter in our lives, in our minds, We are decreasing entropy, and we are leaning into that frequency that of all that is, that beautiful, universal vibration of love, that universal vibration of God frequency, that universal vibration and frequency of forgiveness, of non-judgment. Because I want to say this to you, in this crazy roller coaster journey called life, we rise again and again, up and down, up and down. We are not broken. The journey just kind of keeps unfolding for us. And when we lean in and when we tune in, each layer will call us deeper into who we truly are. And when we are in that space, we are radiating that frequency, that vibration, that love and forgiveness energy into the world. It is uplifting us. It is uplifting the collective consciousness. It is really, really powerful. The unfolding of your life is sacred. It is your sovereign journey, even when it's messy, even when it's unclear, even when you make choices that you feel regret over, or that you may feel like you cannot forgive yourself. Yes, you can, right here, right now. That is what Easter is all about. And being in reverence of this Christ consciousness who came here to teach us just that. And even if you feel lost, remember, you are not lost. You are becoming. You are remembering. And the most powerful thing you can do is to lean in and just trust life unfolding. Trust the voice within. God speaks to you. Trust your connection to Source. Trust God. Trust love. Trust truth. Trust your ability to forgive yourself and others. It doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. Your journey is sovereign. You are becoming your most powerful, aligned, beautiful, graceful, expansive, eternal, divine, sacred self. So maybe today, instead of trying to fix yourself, you allow yourself to be held in the truth of who you are. Maybe today you just soften up a little bit, lean into that beautiful, pure frequency that is love, that is Christ consciousness, that is, the energy of Easter, where you just breathe, smile, have gratitude, be in the moment, and remember who you are. And maybe today you just get to rise a little bit in your energy, in your frequency, not into a new version of yourself, but into the real you that has been waiting underneath the noise all along. You know who you are, that you that is already whole, worthy, powerful, radiant, love, high energy, high vibration, and so darn authentic. You don't need to chase worthiness. You already carry it. And so if this message resonated with you, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. I would love a like, and I would love to ask you, what part of you is ready to rise? What part of you is ready to shift? What part of you is ready to align so you can feel the resonance? How do you know if your thought, your belief, the way that you're feeling about yourself, the way that you look in the mirror, how do you know if it's resonating with the essence of who you are and your soul's truth? It feels really, really, really freaking good. And if you want more content like this soul-aligned, heart-led, heart-centered, subscribe to my channel for sure. I will drop a link in the description box for my newsletter so you can get more of this in your inbox. And let's keep walking this path together. You are not alone. You are not broken. You are not behind. There's no reason to judge who you are and what you're doing. That path, that beautiful, amazing path is open for you right now to lean in, to forgive yourself, and to choose this amazing, beautiful, high frequency of love, of Christ consciousness, of God, of Source, of all of that beautiful, amazing energy. Enjoy your day, and I will see you all next time. Namaste, beautiful souls.